If you're buying a new construction home here in Dallas, Texas, and this is going to be one of the most important videos that you watch, because in this video, I'm going to break down the MUD and PID taxes that are kind of baked into the sale of a new construction home here in Dallas, Texas. Now, these taxes don't last forever, but how long they do last is definitely important. My name is Daniel Jenkins. We haven't met before, but I'm a realtor here in Dallas, Texas, and I help folks like you every single month move here to Dallas. And the purpose of this channel is very simple. It's just to educate you and give you as much information as possible about Dallas real estate to let you relocate here very smoothly. My information is in the description below. If you have any questions, I would love to connect with you. But without further ado, let's continue on with the video. All right, so let's first of all kick off, what are MUD and PID taxes? A MUD, or a municipal utility district, and a PID, or a public improvement district, are just special taxing districts that are commonly used in new construction communities across Dallas-Fort Worth. Now, they exist so that way cities don't have to pay upfront costs for roads, water lines, sewer, drainage, and other infrastructure. So basically the way that works is that the district issues bonds in order to help build infrastructure, and then the homeowners who move into certain communities just basically pay those bonds back through property taxes. Now, the reason why builders use MUD and PID taxes is basically to keep up with the demand, and it's why Dallas is growing so big so fast. MUDs and PIDs basically allow for faster development, lower upfront costs for builders, new amenities, roads, and utilities built quickly. So this is why you're mostly going to see MUD and PID taxes in like master plan communities or just newer communities, and not farmland that are like super old. So here's the thing, right? Like, you're moving to a new area, there's an awesome 3,500 home master plan community with like amazing amenities and this and that, yada yada yada. The problem is that you're probably going to expect to pay higher property taxes because of these MUD and PID taxes. And again, like, those MUD and PID taxes can be like, I've seen it as low as $150. I've seen it as high as $500 a month. So definitely take that into consideration. All right, now I know I kind of just touched on that a little bit, but let's talk about how much these MUD and PID taxes cost. This is obviously where homeowners are going to feel it the most. So in many new construction Dallas areas, you're going to have a tax rate that's like between 2.6% and 3.5%. And then you have some older areas in Dallas where that tax rate does drop off a little bit more to around 2.1% to 2.4%. Let's give you an example here. Let's say you have a $450,000 home at a 3.2% tax rate. That's $14,400 annually that you're going to be paying in property taxes. Of that, that's about $1,200 a month. And of that, for your MUD and PID taxes, you can expect to pay anywhere between $300 and $600 a month just in MUD or PID taxes. Okay, now I get that MUD and PID taxes probably aren't the most exciting thing, and you're definitely not looking forward to paying those. But the question I also get often is, well, now that I have to pay this tax, how long can I expect to pay a MUD and PID tax for? Okay, so for MUD taxes specifically, MUDs are mainly made in order to pay off infrastructure bonds, and you can expect to pay a MUD tax for 20 to 40 years. Now, as homes are built and more residents move in, the tax base grows and the debt is spread across more homeowners. So in many cases, MUD tax rates will gradually decrease over time, especially once the community is fully built out. PID taxes, on the other hand, are actually a little bit more short term. Usually they'll last 10 to 20 years. And so what you will find is that over the course of time, your MUD and PID tax rate will kind of like drop off as you pay off that PID tax first. Now, where PID taxes come in is those are mainly tied to roads, landscaping, entry monuments, community enhancements. And so again, like, once you are in the home long enough, you'll pay that PID tax off before you pay off the MUD tax, and then that portion will just dissolve. All right, so now that you know you have to pay the tax, you know how long you can expect to pay the tax for. What if you don't want to pay a MUD and PID tax? Well, how do you avoid paying the tax before you buy? Great question. Let's dive into that right now. So this is how you avoid any surprises for the MUD or PID tax. Just ask for the current total tax rate. Ask how long the MUD or PID tax is expected to remain. Ask whether the tax rate is projected to decrease as the community builds out, and then compare with nearby communities that do not have MUD or PID taxes. two homes at the same price can have drastically different monthly payments based on the MUD or PID taxes. All right, now ultimately, are MUD and PID taxes bad? Are they nefarious or evil? No, I don't think so. I actually think that it does make sense for some people, and they're inevitable, especially if, number one, you're gonna stay long term. I'm talking like 10, 15, 20 years in a home, which I know life is crazy. Sometimes it's hard to anticipate how long you're gonna be in a home, but if you're having a new construction home built, you're probably gonna be there for several years. Number two, if you want brand new infrastructure, obviously you're in a new community, you have to have it built out. And number three, if you like awesome amenities, then in this case, a MUD and PID tax is gonna serve you well because you're gonna experience just a whole new modern development. All right, well, there you have it. That's a quick breakdown of MUD and PID taxes. Maybe you already knew about it. Great. Maybe you didn't know about it and now you're just a little bit more informed. Awesome. I'm glad I could help. If you're moving here to North Texas, I would love to connect with you. We help folks like you and your family every single day move here to North Texas, and we'd love to meet you and serve you and your family as well. If you have any questions, my information is in the description below. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video.